It's presidential, the outcome evidential. We strive for higher mental. This time, no accidental. We shine because
Your boy is an author family. What a beautiful day to kick the show off and let y'all know about the book Grateful, right? Go get it, man. Go check it out. It's on your Kindle. We got it paperback, hardback, whatever you need. This is my first book as an author. I'm proud of myself. I'm proud of everybody that's supporting, man. Let's go. Beautiful day.
we all here to iron.
Hey man, shout outs to Iron Mastery Academy. That's the academy that's teaching people how to learn and earn on the go, teaching people how to invest and be on the right side of money. Shout outs to Doc Spills and all the educators over there that's teaching people, whether it's levels, colors, harmonics, with simply teaching people how to learn and invest. And you can just match your colors. That's what we learned from day one. So get with me. That's at Read, Remember, Repeat or at Big MUGGA. Those are my Instagrams. And let's get this money, family.
If you listen to those
Welcome. Read, remember, repeaters. We are here. Another beautiful day. Another day to give God thanks. You know what I mean? I like to wake up early and, meditate for a little bit. I don't know what y'all do when y'all wake up. I like to meditate for a little bit. I don't always get it done as perfect as I like to, but it's no excuse, right? That does it for me. So in order for me to start my day off good, I gotta do something like that, you know what I mean? If I don't, then the day is full of chaos, you know what I mean? But I give that time to myself, you know what I mean? How y'all feeling today? How are you feeling today? You that's watching, you know what I mean? I hope you are having a beautiful day. I hope you are having a blessed day, you know what I mean? And I hope you get everything you want, you know what I mean? The year coming. But yeah, man, you know, Mind on Billions today. Shit, y'all know the book. Hustle Harder, Hustle Smarter, 50 Cent. And I know I'm gonna drop y'all with some sauce, you know what I mean, to get your mind going. Shit, man, let's go. It's your host with the knowledge for you. So we getting off on page 168. That's what we got off yesterday. Let people be honest about themselves. Let people be honest about themselves, right? There was a time I didn't understand the importance of letting people be themselves. Back in the early 2000s, G-Unit's in-house DJ was a guy named Who Kid. In addition to playing, one of Who Kid's jobs was putting out mixtapes, which were extremely popular at the time and played a very large role in creating G-Unit's buzz. One day, Who Kid was talking to an A&R guy at Atlantic Records and happened to notice the unreleased new single from Fat Joe's Terror Squad on the guy's desk. Who Kid knew it was a valuable exclusive, so when the A&R guy wasn't looking, he stole it. Of course, Fat Joe, Big Pun, and the rest of the Terror Squad were not happy when their song leaked on Who's Kid's next mixtape. They wanted blood. So when they saw him at the club a few weeks later, they immediately tried to grab him and stomp him out. Who Kid was from Queens, but from Queens Village, which isn't quite as tough as Southside. Someone from Southside would have taken that ass kicking just to make sure they got in a few licks themselves. Not Who Kid. When he saw Terror Squad coming for him, he ran away as fast as he could. Those Terror Squad guys didn't even lay a finger on him. Who Kid couldn't run forever though. Eventually Big Pun caught up with him and actually threw him in the back of a van. Who Kid managed to talk his way out of it though. Usually hearing that one of your crew had avoided an ass whooping would be a cause of celebration. Not in the G Unit. Instead, I was outraged when I heard that Who Kid had done what had done. Yo, bro, they're telling me you ran from Terror Squad, I said. Yeah, I did, he replied. What? I asked incredulously. Are you a pussy? Yes, Who Kid quickly replied. Yes, I am. I was floored. I literally didn't know how to respond. Where I was from, you never ever wanted to admit you were afraid. Once you did that, you were fooled. Everyone was going to come and take a piece of you until there was nothing left. Being a coward ran counter to everything I've been taught growing up. It was like telling a kid who'd been raised in a church that there was no God, or telling a kid who grew up in Chicago in the 90s that Michael Jordan was a bum on the court. Nothing short of blasphemy. Evidently, Who's Kid's experience was a little different than mine. He lost He didn't mind being seen that way. The difference in perspective left me at a loss. How could I possibly have someone represent G-Unit who had no problem being thought of as a pussy? My initial reaction was to fire him on the spot, to give him the proverbial bus ticket. I might come across as reckless sometimes, but the truth is I don't like to make rash decisions unless my environment forces me to. No one was pressing me, so I took a moment to consider the possibility I was overreacting. What exactly was Who Kid's job with G-Unit? Was it to fight? No, his job was to play music, to get the crowds hyped, and he was great at that. Who Kid was a pro at getting energy turned all the way up. His job was also to put out mixtapes that would keep G-Unit buzzing in the streets. Obviously, he took the job very seriously. What did it really matter if he was afraid to fight? Not much at all. I had to admit, Who Kid never got the ticket home. In fact, I came to respect him for being honest. It would have been easy for him to say something like, nah, son, I'm no pussy. They just saying I ran. I was about to light those guys up, but they did before I could get at them. Let me get y'all with some sauce real quick, some good thinking sauce, then we're going to come right back.
How did you get the expertise to be the chief technology officer of a rocket ship company?
I do have a physics background. That's helpful as a foundation. And then I read a lot of books and talked to a lot of smart people.
You're self-taught?
Yeah, self-taught. Yes, meaning I don't have.
The odds of me coming into the rocket business, not knowing anything about rockets, not having ever built anything. I mean, I would have to be insane if I thought the odds were in my favor.
Why even begin?
When something is important enough, you do it even if the odds are not in your favor.
How much of your personal fortune have you poured into this?
$100 million.
$100 million into something that you did not believe would work at the beginning.
Yes.
How did you get the expertise?
I read a lot of books and talked to a lot of smart people.
You're self-taught?
Yeah, self-taught. Yes, meaning I don't have an aerospace degree.
All right, and we are back. A lot of people have lied to me over the years like that, claiming that they were about to handle things they never had any intention of touching. They talked tough because they thought that's what 50 Cent wanted to hear, not because that's what was in their hearts. Sure, 50 Cent wants to be surrounded by guys who are intimidated. Those kinds of people have always been around, and I always will be, and always will be. Curtis Jackson, on the other hand, has come to understand that he needs different types of energy on his team. Now that's smart. 50's a smart guy, man. You know what I mean? Shout outs to 50. You know what I mean? And Curtis Jackson, on the other hand, understand he needs different types of energy on his team. People who don't always seek out conflict, but can get things in other ways. I want both types of people on my team. All I need to know who is who. The situation with Who Kid is when I learned that as a leader, I have to empower the people under me to be who they are. If people feel there's only one energy that'll be respected, that limits what we can do collectively. Who Kid gave me his truth, and because of his honesty, we enjoyed a very fruitful relationship for damn near 20 years. Another person who was very honest with me was Jimmy Iovine, who ran Interscope. When I was selling millions of records, Jimmy was comfortable working with gangsters and making music that reflected their lifestyle, but he was very clear that he was no gangster himself. If the conversation ever turned to serious street business around Jimmy, he quickly tell everyone, hey, watch what you say around me, because I'm a quickly rat. Don't tell me anything, because I'll definitely rat you guys out if I have to. A lot of people used to laugh when he said that because it sounded so ridiculous to those of us who grew up on the street. We were taught that snitching was the very last thing you ever do, let alone admit to it. But I appreciated Jimmy's conduct. Even if some found it a little hypocritical, hey, be a gangster in the songs, just not around me in real life. I'd rather know where a man stands and adjust accordingly than think I'm operating under a certain set of standards when I'm not. Some people said, F Jimmy. If he's cool being a rat, my reaction was, then just don't tell your business around Jimmy. Seems pretty straightforward. He and I were selling tens of millions of records together. Why would I walk around from that or the money because he said something that was unacceptable in another context? That would have been foolish. Instead, I filled it in my mental Rolodex and went on conducting business with him. And when he eventually made decisions that were good for him, but not necessarily for me, I was prepared for that. Whether you're the boss, a partner, or just a worker, you have to create an environment where people can be honest about their character with you. Otherwise, you're going to build unsustainable situations. That's what ruined Ja Rule's career. Ja grew up as Jehovah's Witness in a better part of Queens than I did. The only time he came to my part of town was when he would knock on the door and try to sell copies of The Watchtower. A nice religious boy. There's nothing wrong with that. But the people around him, like Irv, tried to turn him against his true nature as a gentle guy and transform him into a gangster. Instead of accepting his blessing, his talent for fun, female-orientated music, they were hell-bent on turning him into something negative. When they got a record deal with Def Jam, what did they call it? Murder Records, Murder Inc. Records. They had an open road in front of them, but they decided to paint themselves into a dangerous corner. Since none of them were actually murderers, they started seeking out people who had the energy. They eventually found what they were looking for, and it almost brought the whole company down. If you take a close look at guys like Ja Rule, you'll see that they walked with a crutch. In his case, it was the image of a gangster. He took DMX's flow, dressed up like Tupac, and tried to rap about other people's lifestyles. It worked for a second. But as I've said, when you're walking with a crutch, there's a limit on how far you can go. If the people around Ja had understood this, had given him the confidence to embrace his true nature, things would probably have turned out much better for all of them. They could have kept making feel-good female-friendly records for years. Those records never go out of style. Instead, Murder Inc. hasn't put out an album in over 10 years, and today Ja Rule is best known as the fraud making a fool of himself in the Fire Festival documentaries. It's always better to empower the people around you to live their truth. When you force them to perpetrate a role, eventually people will see it. One of the main reasons I'll always be relevant is because no one can be a better 50 Cent than me. They can be younger than me, have a better sense of style, and a better ear for beats, but they can never be a better 50 Cent than me. Though that hasn't stopped a lot of people from trying, as long as I'm always myself, no one can beat me at that. As long as you're comfortable walking your truth, no one will ever beat you either. I'm going to drop that off right there. We're going to chapter 7, family. This book is almost done, man, and I did this with y'all. You know what I mean? We did this together. So let's celebrate when this is over, right? We're going to pop a bottle at the end. You know what I mean? If we can't be friends, chapter 7. Read, remember, repeat. Yo, boy.
No broken bones, but this medicinal loud. I get the feeling that you wishing you could go.
And make sure you guys are juicing, man. Make sure you're getting that 100% cold pressed juice at Rise Juice.
Analyze who is there and analyze who is not. I ain't talking about family, I ain't talking about the block. I'm talking about you and everything.